Hello, I'm Young-Seok, co-founder and CTO of HANALOOP. HANALOOP is a green tech company maker of EcoLoop, a highly flexible greenhouse gas emissions management platform. EcoLoop helps organizations track and reduce their emissions, accelerating their path to net zero. Today, only large companies have the obligation to disclose their carbon emissions. But in the near future, more regulations related to carbon disclosure will come into effect. Companies that export, supply to larger multinationals, or apply for loans will be expected to disclose their carbon management to assess their climate risk factors. These pressures, if not handled properly and proactively, can incur major damage to the business. By automating much of the work and providing higher-level insights, our platform can alleviate the pain of dealing with the complexity of carbon management and mitigate the climate risks. It will lead the organization to a more desired state, contributing to the society and improving corporate efficiency. How does EcoLoop work? It collects emission activities and other climate data to calculate greenhouse gas emissions. Then the data is used to provide insights for carbon strategy. Stakeholders will be able to collaborate to improve the planning and execution of decarbonization. The API can be used to integrate with myriad of other systems, creating synergistic opportunities. The boundaries of emission management can be further expanded to cover value chain. EcoLoop will provide a complete, consistent, accurate, and unified method for emission management and industry-wide decarbonization. There are many use cases in which the EcoLoop API can be applied, enabling the digital sustainability ecosystem, ERP that calculates carbon footprint of business operations, metaverse that simulates the effects on the planet based on the emission of virtual activities, a smart speaker nudging the user in a direction that further reduces emissions, gain with a climate theme, eco-mileage points. There are many other usages from R&D to sustainable marketplace. Now let's delve into the APIs. There are a few categories of APIs. We'll touch upon calculation flow and its endpoint, and briefly mention other APIs. The emission calculation is one of the core functions. The flow starts with your app sending emission activity details, which includes location and time of the activity, type of the activity, fuel amount used. When EcoLoop receives the request, it will retrieve emission factor and run the appropriate calculations. Here is the emission calculation endpoint. It's a post method, so that we can pass request payload. The request body has more details than what I have previously mentioned. It returns emission for the different greenhouse gases. The emission calculation endpoint will just has required parameters, among them the activity type and activity source. The possible values can be found in activity code endpoints. It is possible to retrieve the emission factor with this get endpoint. The query parameter serves as filters. Notice that parameter key may have suffix starting with a colon followed by operators. Examples of operators are equals, not, less than, and so on. It returns the emission factor that satisfies the filter criteria. Currently, we have emission factors for IPCC, default global factors, also known as Tier 1, and for Korea domestic factors, also known as Tier 2. We will be incrementally adding more emission factors of other countries. There are other APIs in the platform that allow development of fully featured GHG management applications. The primary ones are User API to manage user and their roles, Organization API to manage organization and the installation within the organization such as sites and facilities, Market API to retrieve information about the prices of carbon. Be noted that with the organization setup, it is possible to accumulate the emission data and generate reports and do insights. Here's a real-world application built on top of EcoLoop API. So here's a tool you can use to make positive impacts. Thank you for your interest in contributing to the reduction of carbon emissions. Let's work together to build a better future. Thank you.